Hello everyone, Dr. Mack here, third video on systems of location. Today's system of location is the USPLS, or the U.S. Public Lands Survey. USPLS Public Lands Survey. Some of you might know this by its more colloquial name, the Township and Range System. So what happened was in the early 1800s, the United States had already won the Revolutionary War, and as a part of that, we had gained a lot of new territory west of the Appalachian Mountains. We gained Ohio, Indiana, that Ohio River Valley. We had about double the size of our territory. And then we had people who were actually moving in there. The problem was the previous system of demarcating land was just based on landmarks. You would do things like, oh, here's the old oak tree here, and then where the two streams came together right there, and then there was a pile of rocks, and everybody knows about the old oak tree and that strange pile of rocks, and we all know where the river comes together, right? So I'm just going to declare that that's my property. This system of using landmarks like this was a system of meets and bounds. Remember, standard spelling was, well, not standard at the time. So this is actually the way they spelled meets and bounds. And the problem with this is what happens if the people don't agree on what these different landmarks are? What happens if a forest fire comes down and burns down landmark, or a flood comes through and we reroute this river? Who gets what land after that? What happens if you've got, well, I don't know, you've got a new person in the land registry area who doesn't know these landmarks? Now they've got all kinds of problems. So that's the problem that we have to solve. And the solution was, don't use landmarks, because landmarks require that people know where these landmarks are. U.S. Public Lands Survey says we're going to use a survey system that completely ignores all those landmarks. It's just going to require somebody to go out there with their tools of the day. Remember, we're back in about the first decade of the 1800s. And Thomas Jefferson does this. Thomas Jefferson, it was his idea. And he says, we're just going to say the earth is flat, and we're going to divide it up into rectangles. Of course, they knew that the earth was round, but the problem was the tools of the day made it very difficult to work with a round surface. They used plane levels and surveyors' tools and rods and chains and all that. So he says, we're going to assume the earth is round, and we're going to divide it up into squares. And the squares are going to be of different sizes. This first square is going to be a square that is 6 miles by 6 miles, and that square is going to be called a township. And if you get into the eastern part of the United States, east of the Mississippi, some of these townships, when you're 6 miles by 6 miles, there's actually enough people there, enough population density that you might start to have some level of government at the township level. A town board, it does not necessarily mean that you have a small urban place that has a few hundred people all within a few hundred yards of each other. Sometimes the town board is, this township area has a legal status. Okay, so now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of these squares then is 1 square mile. So 1 square mile, a township is 36 square miles. And we need to number this. We're trying to organize space into a reliable, consistent manner that is predictable, that everybody can agree on. So we always start off in this upper right corner, the northeast corner. That's going to be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Remember, you're on horses or you're on foot back in the day. so you're trying to save some time, you do not walk back spending several hours just walking back by foot, or maybe a couple hours with a horse. You just keep going and work your way back and forth. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and it just keeps going back and forth, zigzagging, until you wind up back down here at number 36. And these are legal numbers. So that space there, number 10, we're going to zoom in on that. We're going to make that another square, but remember this is only 1 mile by 1 mile now. This whole thing is a township. This square now is 1 square mile. It is called a section. The legal proper term of this whole area is a township. The legal proper term of this is a section. A section, 1 square mile, has 640 acres. Think about, as your new electronics come out, they come out perhaps with 2 megabytes of memory. That's getting pretty old instead of gigs. And then the next version comes out and goes to 4, and then they double it again, 8, 16, 32, until finally you end up at 64. Cut your section in half. You've got 320 acres down here. Cut this in half, you've got 160 acres up there. Cut this in half, cut it in half again, and you wind up with 40 acres. 40 acres is a number you might encounter in history, or if you're out buying large tracts of land, you start to talk about 40 acres, or 40 acres and a mule. Or if you're out a few years from now and you're thinking, hey, I've got some money, I want to live out in the country, you might find out that they have a plot of land that is 20 acres. And the reason that they are in these plots of land is 20 acres, 40 acres, 160 acres, 320 acres. It all goes back to this USPLS. Okay? 640 acres in a square mile, 336 sections in a township. But I said earlier that they assumed a flat earth. And the reason that becomes substantial is because we start here, where there is a minimal amount of error. But as you go across and back and forth and back and forth, this point accumulates a lot of error. Think about putting your textbook onto a round globe, and where it touches, the corner of your textbook needs to touch the globe. Okay? Your book is supposed to be on the globe, the whole book is. But you can't, because your book is flat and the globe is round. So you put the corner of the book on the globe. Great. I satisfied what my teacher, professor wanted me to do. But by the time you go to the opposite corner on your book, there's this huge gap between where the book is and the curved earth. There's a lot of error in there. E-R-R-O-R, error. So we can't have the error continuing to accumulate. We're going to start over again. So what we do is we start over with a whole new township. And that new township might come down and do something like this. New township. Notice that problem there? Problem. So when you're out on your county roads, the road that's paved, it's got a center line, shoulder line might not be there, but you're driving along, you're going several miles, and you come to a T intersection. The T intersection says turn right or turn left. Well, you turn right, you go a couple hundred meters maybe, and then you turn left again, and you go down the county road, and you rev it up again. And then you come to another T intersection, and then you go a few more miles. That's because you have met township lines. If you go out to Four Lakes on your way to Cheney and decide that, well, actually, let's not go to Four Lakes. Let's go to the Medical Lake exit there where the petrol gas station is, and turn north like you're going up to the Walmart in Airway Heights. So we've come out along the interstate, and we get to the petrol gas station here, and we go along on Hayford Avenue. And Hayford comes along, and then it takes this turn in here, and then it continues on up, and finally we're up here at Walmart. That curve right there is because we have two different townships. Township, I'm going to say 25 north, and this is township 24. 24 north. One way, some of these heavily traveled roads, they, instead of coming to a full stop and two 90-degree turns, they'll put these curves in there. If you keep going over all the way over here to Four Lakes, and you take Craig Road comes up and actually makes a T and then comes on up to Airway Heights. Airway Heights is all along here. This is Craig Road. And this is Hayford Road here. And so we are seeing on the landscape what our human interventions are doing in terms of how we interact with the landscape. The other thing that happens is when you're doing crop circles, actually center pivot irrigation. And you see center pivot irrigation happening, and with our center pivot irrigation, what happens is you have 1 mile by 1 mile, and then you put your center pivot irrigation set up like that. So if you wonder why you see the circles as you fly over Nebraska in the pattern that you see them, it has to do with buying one full section of land, 1 square mile of land, and dividing it up into 4 units of land that are 160 acres, 160, 160, 160, and then irrigating as much of it as possible. That's the USPLS system, otherwise called the Township and Range System. Townships are for north. Townships go north or south. Ranges are east or west, and they are the same size as townships. They are the same thing. In order to properly locate a township of land that's 6 miles by 6 miles, you would say it's Township 24 north, range 13 east. And what happens is you need to have a starting point of some sort. So you have some sort of a principal meridian. And for us here in Oregon and Washington, that principal meridian actually goes through the Willamette Valley. And then you would have a baseline here. And again, for us in Washington, Oregon, that's at 45 degrees north, goes through northern Oregon. If you're over here in Spokane, so if you're over here in Spokane, your townships are always north of this baseline, and your ranges are always east of this principal meridian. If you look at your land title and your township doesn't say north or your range doesn't say east, congratulations, you just bought yourself a lawyer. It's going to take you a lot of money to get that one sorted out. There are several meridians and baselines throughout the entire United States, trying to once again reduce error and make it easier as we brought in new territories into the United States. There's Township and Range System, USPLS. Good luck.